So I wanted to start off with what they've done is like these were released into like I think they were like what 6-issue miniseries. Like it was 6-ish.
Yeah,
They weren't all
6-ish,
the
like
same
5 or
length.
6, and then there was like some one shots.
And then they
stuff.
compiled them so that there's 2 in each book. And
Did yours have any one shots?
mine had a dollar bill one shot.
Okay, mine had a Moloch one shot.
That's awesome.
As well, so.
Which honestly, like before these came out, everyone was worried like, what happened to the one shots?
What happens with the one shots?
Why aren't they there? And they're in there. Yeah. So like what I wanted to start off with was the book that's before Watchmen, Minutemen and Silk Spectre. This was actually like my most anticipated book out of all of them, the Minutemen. And I'm just gonna say off the bat, it is not my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, out of all the ones that I read.
Okay, this was just because it was Darwyn
and maybe
Cooke,
it just
or like
maybe no, I love Darwyn Cooke, and we'll talk about that for a second.
no, I was just saying, were you anticipating it because it was Darwyn Cooke?
That's why
I love Darwyn Cooke as well.
That's why I was anticipating it. I love Darwyn Cooke,
Yeah.
and I love just the idea of getting some backstory on the Minutemen.
Yeah.
Which we did, and it just I don't know, maybe it wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be, and so that's why like it just disappointed me.
Man, you're not making me excited to read this.
I'm sorry, man, but like it does, like it has great art. Like Darwyn Cooke, you know, like he knows how to draw these characters, and it has like that
And
old school
especially,
kind of
yeah,
feel.
I was about to say, and especially like based on the fact that Watchmen, in the time period that the original Watchmen came out, he's got that style.
Yeah.
he has that characterization. He can make them look both realistic and cartoony at the same time, and make it work.
Right. This stuff, like, honestly reminded me more of New Frontier art than anything he's done
Super
recently.
Cool. Super
like
cool.
so it's great art, and it really fits the piece. It's basically like it starts off and the basic premise is it's featuring Hollis Mason. He's in the process of shopping around under the hood, and he's telling his stories. And so like this is kind of it's basically narrated by Hollis the entire time, and I don't know, it didn't feel like it was supposed to be like this is the book, this is Under the Hood, but it was definitely
well, you see a lot of you get excerpts of Under the Hood in the original Watchmen as well, like in those in between chapters, that sort of thing.
But this is more him explaining like why he's writing Under the Hood and things like that.
Okay.
So so like it starts at the beginning, building up the Minutemen, why they fell apart, and like just basically their run of stardom.
Okay.
And like as far as the writing goes, the writing's good. Like the stories are good, and like you kind of get motivations behind the characters. But honestly, like this feels like just bonus material. Like it's not really stuff that like you really want. You want to know, but it's not like the story doesn't stand alone as a good story.
Without Watchmen, it sounds like it's very much a supplemental reading to Watchmen.
It feels very much like that.
Like you'd find it in the back of the book or something.
So while it was interesting, it wasn't my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of the third person, like he's just telling this in third person the entire time.
Okay.
And like just the narration. Like I'd rather read the panels and see the dialogue as it happens, not have a narrator tell me how it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand.
Dialogue between the characters, so you can I just felt disconnected from all of these characters the entire time almost. It's not like there's no dialogue. There is, but I didn't really feel for any of them.
Yeah, but the main line of the story wasn't presented to you; it was read to you, or something. So.
Right.
Okay.
So the second book in this is Silk Spectre, and it's written and drawn by Amanda Connor. And
awesome. I love Amanda Connor.
It's amazing. This story is great. It basically is dealing with Silk Spectre from the time she's a teenager, and how she kind of becomes the Silk Spectre. And it starts off, she's dealing with her mom, Sally Jupiter, and like her mom is trying to bring her up so she doesn't make the same mistakes she does. And so like it's very much of a coming of age story. I think like she runs away at one point and starts figuring out who she is. Like you see the way that her mom's been pushing her, and then she like decides, I'm gonna get out of here, and then like she goes and makes her own choices. This, out of all of them, deals with more mature subject matter than the rest of them. Like there's drugs, there's like it's set in like the 60s, so like it's just like kind of like drug hippie culture, and it's actually pretty violent. Like this book, this was my favorite one to read out of all of them. Like, there's so much action, and like they do some. She does. It's Amanda Connor drawing, so it's good art. It's kind of cartoony, but not really. Cartoony as in like it's more. it's not as cartoony as Darwyn Cooke, but it's more like it's not as realistic as
say Tony Daniel or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. And so, some things I liked about the art and the way she would tell the story is, so say she's done something, and instead of having her say how she feels, there's a one panel that illustrates how she feels. So if she just did something that was totally awesome and she feels super, super cool, it'll be a picture of her in armor and she's this is how she feels. She feels like a warrior. If she's really sad, it'll illustrate it with that. And it was a really cool way to kind of get inside her head and
pictorially as opposed to with text.
Right.
That's great.
I mean, there's lots of action. It's a very compelling story, and I love it.